the first pilot in history to fly faster than the speed of sound, would have turned 100 years old. And more than 2 years after Chuck Yeager's death, he's still impacting the future of the aviation industry. And Queen City News Chief Transportation Correspondent May-Kay Beeler is a seasoned pilot, and you actually flew with the legend.
That's right. Yeah, she is brand new to the Queen City News team. We'd like to welcome her right now. And May-Kay joins us live in the studio with how Yeager's vision lives on in the Queen City.
Well, actually, Yeager did pass away in 2020, but his legend lives on today. As we said, on what would have been his 100th birthday, Yeager was celebrated by aviation enthusiasts by participating in aviation-oriented activities. So this was the perfect opportunity for us to check out the future site of the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. It's under construction, and it shares Yeager's vision.
General Yeager was a groundbreaker. He pushed frontiers, he pushed barriers, he did new things, and he did it fearlessly. This is just the kind of thing we want for our kids, to think about their creativity, their capability, their innovation going forward so they can ding the universe.
Stephen Saucier is the president of the former Carolinas Aviation Museum at Charlotte Douglas.
It's been renamed the Sullenberger Aviation Museum because its mission is around what we'll call inspire, educate, and elevate. We're building on that story of Captain Sullenberger and the plane and the innovations of training and engineering that saved everybody. We want to invite the next generation of innovators to think about their future in aviation.
The museum, a Smithsonian affiliate, is not just a museum of aviation history, but innovators. It's all about inspiring kids to live their dreams.
What you see behind me is the original hangar, the historic hangar, built in 1936. It'll be over 100,000 square feet of gallery space, expecting over 120,000 visitors a year.
We're going to have a lot of authentic, exciting experiences here that revolve around aviation, but also the people in aviation, to tell their stories and what they've done to innovate and change the world we live in.
On his 100th birthday, the greatest test pilot of his generation, the late Chuck Yeager, once quoted as saying, "The secret of my success is that I always manage to live to fly another day," lives on in the ideology of the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. Once completed, the museum will share inspiring stories of people like Yeager, ordinary people finding themselves in extraordinary circumstances and events.
He entered the Army Air Corps. He vomited on his first flight and eventually became the one that broke the sound barrier and did extraordinary things. But he was an ordinary man that just kept pushing, just kept learning, kept innovating and breaking barriers. And that's what we want to impart to our kids about thinking about their futures, how they can prepare and innovate and push barriers during their life.
The museum, well, it's currently closed while construction is underway. The new state-of-the-art museum is slated to open in late 2023 or 2024.
Oh, I just have to say, May-Kay, we actually sit next to each other in the newsroom, but we are just so honored to have you here. You can tell you love aviation, and there's nothing better when somebody loves to report on something that's really true to their heart.
I feel blessed to be here. You
Yeah.
all are wonderful. There's so many great aviation stories we can tell. Looking forward to it. Off to a good start.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear about the story of you flying with Chuck Yeager. What a pioneer he was,
That may
right?
take a while, and that was for a story for WFMY News 2 PM magazine. And he was a little rough and tumble, a rough guy around the edges, but he warmed up to me, and I flew with him.
No one threw up then, did they?
Yeah, well, no, we didn't throw up then. He threw up ages ago.
Yeah.
No
okay.
one threw up.
All right, May-Kay,
So
welcome.
good,
All right,
so
Tara.
good. Yeah, welcome.